Hi folks, I'm Dr. Russ Wallers in the Miller College of Business Department of Marketing and Management. We are going to cover a video overview uh, tying in with our weekly learning module. The topic in this overview is retailing and wholesaling. We are not going to get into a detailed uh, discussion of the text material. That's up to you to read that thoroughly. But what I'm going to do is talk about some key concepts that I think we should focus on in our reading. We're working our way through the four P's, and this falls within the place element of the marketing mix, as you can well understand. To start our discussion, let's distinguish between retailing and wholesaling, so we have a good handle on these uh, terms. When we talk about retailing, we're talking about all of the activities involved in the sale of products primarily to the final ultimate consumer. In contrast, wholesaling is concerned with the activities of persons or firms that sell primarily to retailers and other merchants, industrial customers, which could be include the manufacturing sector, institutional customers, which would include educational institutions, healthcare institutions such as hospitals, and also the government market, and also commercial users. Note that many intermediaries engage in both retailing and wholesale trade, so it's not a clear either or distinction. For example, a firm such as Lowe's, they may sell various building products to do-it-yourselfers that would be the final consumer, in which case those would be considered retail transactions. At the same time, they're also selling to building contractors who are basically wholesale customers. Likewise with Staples, selling both to ultimate consumers and also other businesses. So that's the distinction between retailing and wholesaling. Just as any other firm in planning their marketing strategy, retailers, which we're going to talk about retailing first, retailers start by focusing on the customer, selecting an appropriate target market, and then making decisions in the areas of product, pricing, place, and also promotion. This slide illustrates some examples of decisions that would be made in each of those four areas. For instance, as far as product decisions go, retailers decide upon their product selection, the width and breadth of their assortment, what brands they carry, what their quality lines will be, after sales service, so forth. Place or distribution decisions that retailers engage in would include decisions regarding their physical store, uh, use of the internet if that's an option, the number and location of their stores, shopping atmospherics, so forth. Regarding promotion, there's a range of retailing decisions that need to be made, including advertising, public relations, sales personnel, number, type, and training of those sales individuals. Um, Regarding pricing decisions, the decisions would include whether to use a credit card or not, what type of credit card plan, various discounting policies, sales, and so forth. So there are a number of decisions to be made within each of the four P's. This slide, which is right out of your textbook, provides an example of different types of retail institutions. This is fairly self-explanatory, so we're not going to elaborate on this. Uh, Basically, if you look at that block on the left, uh, retail stores tend to either offer general merchandise or specialize in offering a single line or a limited line. Single line or limited line retail stores specialize by product area and offer a wide assortment in that area. Most stores in the U.S. would typically fall into that category. We don't see too many general retailers operating any longer. But this slide gives you some examples of different types of retail institutions and that you're familiar with, and also some specific examples by company name. So the point is that retailers can pick different strategies in approaching the market, and one of the points that the author makes in our text is that conventional retailers try to avoid head-to-head price competition in a lot of cases. So if you look at the different ways that retailers can approach the market, this would provide some good examples. Given the importance of internet marketing in the retail sector, the authors of our text discuss several different types of online retailer approaches that are popularly used. Many retailers who have bricks and mortar stores at many locations use a website to supplement their store marketing and the other types of promotion they use. Retailers who use this approach often offer a limited product assortment on their websites. Examples of that might include the Home Depot or Target. Their website does not duplicate the store. It's basically there to supplement the product mix within the store. With more customers engaging in cross-channel shopping, gathering information online and then buying in a store or vice versa, some retailers integrate online and bricks and mortars stores. Examples might include Ace Hardware, where they basically replicate the product mix both online and in their physical stores. Alternatively, some retailers take a multi-channel approach and use their websites to complement their stores or their catalog offerings. So the idea there is that the website completes the in-store merchandise. More common among retailers who have higher profit margins on the lines they sell, then this would include maybe Williams-Sonoma or JCPenney. Here's another approach. Among online retailers, some try to differentiate their offering primarily by being more efficient than their competitors. The idea here is that they focus on offering consumers low prices on products that are in very competitive product markets that have low profit margins. A couple examples in that area would be Zappos, which has been extremely successful recently, and also Amazon. The idea there is that they compete primarily online rather than have a bricks and mortar store, and they do so very, very cost efficiently and keep their prices down. So that's their competitive strategy. And a final approach is one to differentiate the marketing offering by being very, very focused on the specific needs of a specific, well-defined target market. Retailers in this category typically use the web to supplement a catalog operation or a limited number of stores. The idea there is that they supplement their stores, but they're very, very focused in their merchandising. And an example of that would be perhaps LL Bean out of Freeport, Maine. Do a very, very fine job in that regard. Moving on to wholesaling. We mentioned earlier that wholesaling is concerned with the activities of persons or firms that sell primarily to retailers or other merchants, industrial customers, including manufacturing, institutional customers, and commercial users. And as outlined in our text, there are basically three types of wholesaling operations, wholesaling institutions. And these include merchant wholesalers, agent wholesalers, and manufacturer sales branches. We'll talk about each of these in a second. Just for now, a merchant wholesaler is a wholesaler that takes title to the goods that it carries, whereas an agent wholesaler does not take title to the goods that it sells. A manufacturer sales branch is a special type of wholesaling operation involving warehouses that producers set up at separate locations away from their production facilities. That's kind of considered a separate branch of wholesale. Most wholesale establishments are in fact merchant wholesalers, which are the wholesaling operations that take title to the goods that they sell. Merchant wholesalers also have the greatest percentage of all wholesale sales, well over half, and merchant wholesalers have the highest cost as a percent of sale. Runs around 13%. That's much higher than, let's say, agent wholesalers. Make sure you read that section over in the text. Now, if you're trying to figure out what type of wholesaler you might be dealing with, this is an interesting schematic that I think clears up the differences in some of the terms. If we pose the question, does a wholesaler own the products that it carries? If the answer is yes, we're talking about a merchant wholesaler. The next question would become, how many functions does the wholesaler perform? And in general, there are full-service merchant wholesalers and limited function merchant wholesalers. In this graphic, we see the limited service or the limited function wholesalers listed in the bottom right-hand corner of this graphic. In effect, the limited function wholesalers perform some but not all of the services that you'd expect the general merchandise full-service wholesaler to carry. And examples might include cash and carry wholesalers. Cash and carry wholesalers operate on a cash-only basis, and they don't provide delivery, obviously. Drop shippers are limited function merchant wholesalers that do not take inventory to the goods that they carry. They have the shipments arranged to go direct from their suppliers to their customers, so forth. So make sure you read that material over thoroughly in the text regarding different types of wholesaling operations. Each type of wholesaling operation has a different role to play, and firms that are using and selecting wholesalers within their distribution networks need to match the types of activities that need to be performed in distributing products to the types of activities that are available by these various types of wholesale operations. Agent wholesalers, shown here in the blue, are wholesalers that do not take title to the to the products that they sell, and we'll take a look at that in a little more detail on the next slide. There are basically four types of agent wholesalers. A manufacturer's agent, that's a firm that typically sells similar products for several non-competing producers and receives a commission on the sales. Rather than make their operating profit on a markup, which would be the case for the merchant wholesaler, the manufacturer's agent operates on a commission on sales. Such agents are often freewheeling sales reps who can easily add product lines from a variety of producers to meet the customer's needs. Export or import agents are basically manufacturers' agents specializing in international trade. This is very common in international marketing. So that's a manufacturer's agent. A broker, on the other hand, is a different type of agent. They provide information and bring buyers and sellers together. And their distinction is that their relationship with buyers and sellers tends to be more temporary, lasting only while the deal is negotiated. So the brokers have more of an ad hoc relationship with the parties that they deal with, whereas the manufacturer's agent would have a continuous relationship with the firms that it's selling for. Export and import brokers, again talking about brokers, specialize in bringing buyers and sellers together from different countries. Another type of agent wholesaler is called a selling agent. A selling agent takes over the entire marketing job for the producers that it represents. They have control over pricing, selling, advertising, and they basically operate as the producer's marketing manager. They take over the entire range of marketing activities for a firm that it represents. A combination export manager is a blend of manufacturer's agent and selling agent. So you find some hybrid types of these firms. Then finally, we have an auction company. Auction companies speed up the sale by providing a place where buyers and sellers can complete a transaction. The internet has spurred growth in auction companies in many lines of business. So those are four specific types of agent wholesalers that do not take title to the goods and services that they sell. The top two, the manufacturer's agent and the broker, are probably the two most commonly used types of agents that you may be familiar with. And the selling agent's also very important as well. So that takes us through some of the key issues in this chapter on retailing and wholesaling. And once again, when you get done studying this material, make sure that you review the key terms. These are great aids to review with in getting ready for your exams. And I hope you found this video overview useful, and that just about wraps it up. So we'll see you online soon. Be careful out there, and thank you.